Today on 5 Minute Mondays, we'll discuss whether or not you should script your podcast episodes. Welcome to 5 Minute Mondays, where we're bringing the best tips and strategies for building your podcast in 5 minutes or less. So, if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about three approaches to preparing for your podcast episodes, and that is with scripts, outlines, and freestyle. Now, when you script a podcast, that means you're planning every word ahead of time. And that's similar to the script for a movie or a television show, where the actors are literally saying the words that are given to them. And certain podcast formats actually do benefit from this approach, but it's not always the best strategy. And what I see is that new podcasters often default into writing out every word so that they say exactly what they want to say. And it feels the safest, right? Because when you write out every single word, you're not going to misspeak. You're not going to say something that you didn't really want to say. But the drawback, and there's a couple, with scripting out every single podcast episode before you record it, is that it just takes a lot of time to prepare. It takes a lot of time to write out 20 minutes of content. And then in addition to that, instead of speaking how you would normally speak, if you're reading from a script, you sound like you're reading from a script. And so it doesn't actually sound super authentic. It does sound scripted, if you know what I'm saying. But if you're creating an audio drama or you have a story podcast that you are scripting out, then you should script your podcast ahead of time, because that is really going to help you make the best piece of content. But otherwise, unless you're in one of those specific instances where it really does matter what you say and exactly how you say it, I would recommend one of the other two approaches. So let's talk about outlines. Now, with an outline, you're just mapping out the general flow of your podcast episode to make sure that you cover everything that you want to cover. And rather than writing down every word that you want to say, you simply just jot down the main points, the questions that you want to ask your guest, and maybe some filler reminders, some subpoints to help you have a solid plan in place. Now, you may end up reading some of your outline verbatim, like a script, but for the most part, the outline is just there to help you stay on track and to stay on topic. And this is the most common form of prep, pre-episode prep, is creating an outline. So if you're recording a solo podcast, or if you're new to interviews, or you just want to produce cleaner, tighter episodes, then using an outline will serve you well. Now, the third way to approach preparing for a podcast episode is with a freestyle approach. And that simply means that you aren't sure exactly how the episode will turn out before you hit record, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because this does create space for playful banter. It allows you to go off script, and also, as the host or the facilitator, allows you to use your intuition to guide the conversation. So if you're more practiced as an interviewer, this would give you the flexibility of pursuing follow-up questions to stories that you think would really be valuable to your audience without feeling like you have to stick to your script. This is actually the approach that we use on the Buzzcast podcast, where 3 to 4 of us here at Buzzsprout HQ will sit around a table and discuss what is going on in the world of podcasting for about 40 to 45 minutes. And so the day before we record, I will send out 3 to 4 topics that I want to make sure we cover, and then we all show up ready to chat. But that's it. That's all the prep that we do before each episode. So while this strategy does require the least amount of prep time, if you're not careful, it can actually come back to bite you in other ways, right? If the people involved in the podcast aren't seasoned podcasters, if they're not super experienced, it's easy to get off track and be like, wow, we just spent 2 hours talking about something. Hopefully I can make an episode out of that. And when that happens, it actually increases your time editing the episode in post-production. Now, if you have a roundtable discussion podcast, then the freestyle strategy allows you to produce approachable content that doesn't necessarily feel overly produced. So which of those 3 strategies would I recommend that you use? Well, probably an outline. This is the approach we use for most of our podcasts. It's the most popular across the board, and it kind of has the best of both worlds, where it helps you stay on track without spending hours of prep time scripting out each episode. But feel free to try each strategy to see which one works best for you. That's it for today. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can subscribe to the 5 Minute Mondays podcast in your favorite app to squeeze even more podcast-related content into your life. And if there's something you want us to talk about on a future episode, click the link in the show notes to submit your question. Thanks for listening, and as always, keep podcasting.